everybody. Welcome to our very first resource in the thriving, not just surviving at home right now with Emmanuel. We're really excited to be with you today, and I have with me a very special guest. I'm Jennifer Connect, Vice President of Marketing and Sales for Emmanuel, and we're going to have a whole bunch of great resources over the course of the next several weeks for seniors and for their family members so that we can all not just be at home, but we can actually thrive while we're at home. And that means a lot of things for us at Emmanuel, which we'll get into over the course of the next several weeks that we have together, or the next several resources. But in this very first one, we thought we'd start with activity, with wellness, with all things that make you have a good, happy day in your life, really. And so without further ado, I'm really excited to bring on our very first guest, Rachel, who is our corporate wellness manager, and all things wellness, all things fitness, all things being healthy and happy at home. So hi, Rachel. Thanks for joining us.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Well, we want to jump in and we're going to talk a little bit about fitness. We're going to give some ideas and some tips and tricks that I think you can take with you and have a little bit of fun along the way as you're at home, and maybe even challenge, your friends, your family, your neighbors virtually, if you will, because I know we're doing a lot of those types of great things with our residents right now as they're primarily hunkered down in their apartment homes. But before we get into that, I do want to give a disclaimer that neither Rachel nor I are MDs. And so if you have any questions regarding your own ability, your own physical ability, make sure that you reach out to your physician, and they will guide you with all of those beautiful details. This is really just for informational purposes only. This is not about us giving you actual health care information tips right now. So let's jump in though, Rachel. Tell us just a little bit about, I set you up as all things wellness, but what does wellness really mean at Emmanuel? And most importantly, what do you do in your role and how did you get to where you are today?
Wellness is really taking a holistic view of the whole person. And so instead of looking at a person and saying, hey, as long as I'm healthy, and in good health, I'm good to go. It's looking at the whole person, mind, body, and spirit, and really taking a good look at all three of those components in order to take a holistic view. So fitness is just one of those components within wellness. I've been with Emmanuel since 2002 and really started working within our wellness centers, and currently work as corporate wellness manager and work with all locations and all wellness centers in order to set programming and provide some really good resources for our residents and also our employees.
So you've literally helped thousands of individuals over the age of 60 on their wellness journey in some fashion.
Correct. Yep.
That's fantastic. That's really fantastic. And mind, body, and spirit. So unpack that a little bit for me. Mind, body, and spirit. I mean, we're gonna dig into fitness in this particular episode, so that we can give folks out there some good ideas on what you can do to stay fit while you're, I guess, at home and not necessarily able to go to the gym like you might have been able to go to 3 or 4 or 5 weeks ago. So, but tell us a little bit more about mind, body, and spirit from the Emmanuel perspective and from programming that you work with your wellness team on throughout all of our living communities at Emmanuel.
We know that everything is very much intertwined and connected. And so you can't just have one component of your body healthy. You need to have full wellness of the mind, body, and spirit. Knowing that if you're off balance in one of the areas, it's going to kind of put you off kilter, and making sure that we're providing a lot of programming and opportunities for our seniors in order to be well within all of those dimensions.
Oh, I love that. I absolutely love that. So let's get into the meat for today specifically. So we're all trying to do our very best, in a little bit different world that we're in right now. We're not necessarily as able to connect and be out and about as what we were, 3 or 4 or 5 weeks ago. And we don't know how long we're going to need to be hunkered down or what that means for us, especially as an older person, as a person who's more vulnerable to everything that's going on in the world right now. But we know that fitness and movement are also very important for us. So from a fitness perspective, what are some of the things we could be doing right now or thinking about right now, maybe just a little bit differently at home than when we have full access to a gym or that type of thing?
The most important thing to remember when you're at home and trying to be active is just to keep moving. So it's not necessarily about wellness or fitness, but think of it in terms of physical activity. So what can you do throughout your day in order to keep up your strength, keep up your mobility, being able to still do the things that you need to do in your daily life. And so really trying to focus on cardiovascular exercise, strength training, balance and flexibility, and how can you work that into your day. So it may not be a full session of, oh, I'm going to work out for a half an hour right now. It could be segmented throughout your day. Maybe you're just doing 10 minutes of things at a time. It could be something as simple as when I'm unloading the dishwasher, instead of bending at the hips, I'm going to squat down and use my legs and really utilize all the muscle groups as you can as you're doing your household items during the day. It could be if you're watching TV, taking the time during commercials to get up and march in place and do some exercise. You could also do some push-ups against the wall, some leg lifts, just trying to have activity take place as you're doing your day-to-day. It's a great time of year right now, too, with it being spring and getting a little warmer out, to take advantage of doing things outside. So gardening will be coming up, doing that yard work. Those are all physical activities that you can do that's going to overall impact your wellness. Another benefit of outside is getting that vitamin D, which is going to help boost your mood along with exercise. So taking advantage of your neighborhoods and doing walks outside, as long as you can practice social distancing.
Oh, I love that. Okay, those are really good tips, Rachel. So if we were going to put together like a quick 15-minute circuit using what we have at our house. So that would be, I can unload my dishwasher. Maybe I can walk around the block once, or maybe I can, I don't know, whatever else from the things that you just listed. What, if you were going to walk us through like maybe like a 15-minute, here's 15 minutes of your day that you can use to dedicate to that. What would you specifically share with us about that?
As I had mentioned, going out for a walk is great, weather permitting. Otherwise, marching in place while you're watching your favorite show during the day. That would be a great way to get your cardio in. Also using household items that you have to do some light strength training. So soup cans, water bottles, using those as your weights, doing some basic bicep curls, working your upper body, your lower body. It's also important to make sure that we're keeping our full range of motion and doing some flexibility and stretching exercises. So that's another thing you can do, even if you're sitting in a chair, is reaching down for those toes, holding it for 10 to 15 seconds, and then repeating on the other side, stretching those arms all the way up above your head, and stretching to either side. Sitting up nice and tall is also a great way to work on posture if you're sitting in a chair or you're standing. So just making sure you're not slumping forward, but really pulling your chest back, pulling those shoulder blades back, and sitting up nice and tall as you're doing things throughout the day.
Oh, I love that. So let's just say we break down our favorite television show, and it's a 30-minute show, maybe midday or in the evening or whatever. And we got so many commercial breaks. What if one of the commercial breaks I walked in place, and maybe one of the commercial breaks I unloaded my dishwasher or changed the laundry or something and had to walk across the house or a little bit of distance. And it sounds like then I could use one of my commercial breaks to do a little bit of stretching. So sitting in my chair and stretching, touching my toes, as you mentioned. And then maybe one of my commercial breaks, I think you kind of alluded to it, but is there anything from a core perspective I could be doing while I'm sitting in my chair as well?
Sure. A great, easy way that you can really build your strength in your core, but also your back, which is your opposing muscle group, would be just sitting up nice and tall at the very front of your chair, and then slowly keeping your back straight, but hinging at the hips. You're leaning to the back of the chair and sitting up, leaning back, sitting up. So that would be a great way to really work on those core muscles, those back muscles. Another thing that you could do during those commercial breaks would be chair stands.
Yeah.
So during that time period, standing up, sitting down, standing up, sitting down, if you need to, using your hands for assistance, but ultimately you'd like to have your hands across your chest and be able to stand up and sit down. So that's really going to work all those major muscle groups in your legs. You could also do heel raises and toe raises, so alternating, maybe doing 10 heel raises and then switching and then lifting those toes and leaving those heels on the ground. So working the lower extremities, the lower muscles in your legs.
I love this. So this is actually maybe if I haven't been doing, if I haven't really been dedicated to fitness, let's say I was not going to the gym before and maybe I was getting a little bit of walking in perhaps, but maybe not a lot. This is a great time while we're all hunkered down at home to be spending some time, I guess, watching our favorite show and doing a couple of these things, like I would call it like a television circuit. So at every commercial break, you could do some of these different rotations that you just shared with us, Rachel. I think that's awesome. That's fantastic. We hear a lot about the fact that fitness is very good for us as we age, and we need to be focused on our fitness and focus on maintaining our strength and our balance as we age. But share with us a little bit more about that specifically. Why is fitness so important for us? Why is it an important element of our wellness, especially as we continue to add minutes and days and years onto our lives?
Mm-hmm. It's very important to exercise throughout your life. It's going to help overall with your mobility and what you're able to do. So by keeping active cardiovascularly, but also keeping strong by doing strength training, it's going to allow you to keep doing those things you enjoy doing throughout our lives. So those hobbies that we enjoy, maybe it's those trips we like to do, but we need the endurance to do those trips. It could be playing with the grandkids, really completing any activities that you have during your usual daily living. It's going to help be able to continue doing what you enjoy overall. There's also a lot of studies out there showing that if you exercise throughout your life, it actually helps boost your brain health as well. And it can help prevent or reduce any chronic diseases that you may be dealing with.
So if I'm going to get started, if I haven't been, if I'm active and I've been active, then incorporating some of these things is pretty, I think you've given us some good guidance on how we can incorporate them in. But if I'm just getting started, are there some special considerations that I should have about getting started, or what would be the best first steps in starting a fitness regime at home?
It's always important to communicate with your doctor and make sure that it's safe for you to exercise, especially if you're dealing with some chronic conditions.
Right.
Things to keep in mind is arthritis, or if you have joint replacements or you're dealing with some cardiac issues, making sure, as I mentioned, to really communicate to your doctor to verify what you're planning on doing is going to be safe for you and recommended for you, and be helpful and not harmful for you.
Absolutely. So we'll have one of our tip sheets with some of these great insights that Rachel just shared about some of the chair activities and a short little television circuit and some other tips that are great to help you get on your way or help you continue your fitness. But I know you mentioned arthritis and osteoporosis and those types of things, chronic conditions. Any other special considerations we should be thinking about if I have some of those already, if they're ailing me?
Really just the types of activities that you're choosing to do and making sure that they're appropriate. So I know we had mentioned, for instance, marching in place. Maybe you aren't comfortable standing and you're not feeling safe, maybe balance-wise, in order to do that. You can march in place during commercials by sitting. So you can be from a stable area and do it that way. Also, if you have a very stable chair in front of you and you just need to grab on for support, those are other things to consider. So never really being outside of your comfort zone, making sure that you're doing things that your body feels comfortable with.
That's great. I really like that advice. Absolutely. Don't ever be afraid to hang on to a chair. I do that all the time. In fact, just needing to make sure I'm stabilizing my balance, and I'd much better to be standing upright and hanging on to a chair than have something happen and not be standing upright anymore. This is a special time right now. As I mentioned, a lot of our residents are hunkering down in their apartments, just like you're hunkering down at home. We're all hunkering down at home, trying to get through these next days, weeks, time in front of us, but tell us, what are some of the unique things about Emmanuel Communities and all the great stuff that you and your teams do to help keep our residents active and fit and well?
Well, as we had mentioned, Emmanuel really has that holistic approach to wellness and really values wellness. And so we have full wellness centers in all of our independent and assisted living communities with staff that are professionals with degrees in exercise science and related fields. And we offer a wide variety of programming from full fitness rooms, where if you're interested in utilizing the equipment, we have you come in, we get a physician consent form from your doctor, we get a full health history, we do a functional fitness assessment with you, and really based on those results and taking a look at what are your goals, what do you want to accomplish, we create an exercise program specifically to meet your needs. And so we also have supervised areas, so we're able to be within the space to verify that you're using all the equipment appropriately. Emmanuel also provides one-on-one personal training sessions for our residents. So if they have those specific goals, or maybe they are recovering from a health event, they can work one-on-one with one of our professional wellness staff. There's a wide variety of classes that we also offer, from yoga to Tai Chi to balance specific classes, strength, cardio as well. And then a wide variety of health education events too. So really trying to make sure that we're hitting all those different components of wellness and providing a lot of great opportunities for the residents that live with us, for them to be healthy and well, no matter what age they are.
Nice. And what about, so if I'm just an interested person, this sounds amazing, obviously, a personal trainer, I mean, nice to have a personal trainer and somebody helping you along whatever your journey is, just as part of a perk of being an Emmanuel resident. But if I'm, not ready to move into a community, but just interested in getting connected with a group of people who are about my age and connecting with, of course, wellness experts that can help me on my own personal journey, does Emmanuel have anything that's offered for the public at large, not just residents?
Yeah, we have 3 of our locations that are available to Omaha and Lincoln locations, communities for people who are 55 and older. So we have memberships where you could come in and utilize our wellness services and take advantage of our professional staff at the Landing, at Emmanuel Village, and also at Lakeside Village.
Nice. So a couple different places in Omaha, one in Lincoln. So if you're interested in any of that, for sure, make sure that you contact us at emmanuel.com. You can just email the contact us message there and shoot us a quick note. If you want to access any of this information or any other great resources that Rachel shares with us, you can grab all of those, maybe put together your own personal circuit. And I guess the big thing is we just want to stay active, right? Right now, especially, I know for me personally, and for my mom and all the people that I've talked to as well, that one of the key things in just having better spirits right now is if I give myself a little bit of activity during the day.
Along with that, really with exercises, it produces those good feeling endorphins in your body. So it's definitely going to boost your mood. No matter what type of exercise you decide to do, indoors or outdoors, it's going to help boost those moods, especially during this time when we're staying in our homes.
Nice. I love that. Well, Rachel, thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming on today and sharing a little bit more about wellness at Emmanuel, specifically what you do, and most importantly, how we can all right now, today, start or continue a great fitness regime and a great wellness focus as we're all hunkering down to hopefully get through the next several weeks and days together as a society. Thanks, Rachel. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, y'all, we will be back again next week, same time, same place, with a bunch of more information, good resources for you. If you have any questions about anything we've talked about today, or if you'd like to connect with Rachel more, just email us at, you'll see the contact us link here below. Just click on that, send us your question, and we'll get that off to Rachel and her team so they can answer that right away. And be sure to check one of our other videos. We've got a whole bunch of great resources that we're going to be producing over the next several weeks and days, as I mentioned, that are there for you to help you thrive not just survive right now while we're all home and trying to do our very best to stay healthy.